So to quickly outline all the speeches, there's memorized speeches, manuscript speeches, impromptu speeches, and extemporaneous speeches. Um, so memorized speeches are mainly speeches used in formal events, um, presented entirely from memory without notes. It allows for eye contact and engagement, but it's mostly more useful for short formal speeches um, because there's a higher risk of forgetting and it's more time consuming to rehearse the speech over and over. And you really have limited flexibility when it comes to interacting with your audience or making any modifications to your speech. Um, Next, manuscript speech is a speech that consists mostly of prepared formal speeches delivered exactly as they're written to sound eloquent or more formal. They ensure that the speech is delivered as intended with specific wording, and it's useful to allow exact timing and pacing and present well organized content um, in a clear and logical order. And this is very useful for like high or like very important people, like the President of the United States would most likely use this sort of speech, or to give a speech on a sensitive topic or delicate subjects that require careful language. Although manuscript speeches can tend to sound uh, flat or unnatural because they're read word for word, and they like memorized speeches. They don't allow for a lot of flexibility because of the over reliance on the script, which may hinder engagement with the audience. Um, Next up, we have impromptu speech, which are just speeches given casually and unprepared. It's mostly of a last resort sort of speech or last option because you have no time to prepare for it. Um, so it usually allows for a natural delivery and a casual tone, and it needs quick thinking and ability to come up with ideas on the spot. Um, it's useful in real life applications, like if you had no way of preparing for a speech, but it's very challenging to structure your thoughts very quickly, and it may result in unclear or a scattered presentation. Um, there's higher there's a higher probability of making risks, and the speaker it tends to be more anxious when presenting an impromptu speech because they're very unprepared and they have limited evidence because without preparation you can't come up with quotes, statistics, or examples that really strengthen your main points. So, because of this, one of the best kinds of speeches is an extemporaneous speech, which involves delivering a thoroughly prepared speech with a brief set of notes. Now, it's not like uh, memorized speech or a manuscript speech where you have to memorize it or you're given a clear script. You have to carefully prepare for it, but you don't have that stress of worrying about remembering every single thing because usually you have a set of note cards that allow you to outline several key details. It keeps you on track. It reminds you of the ideas without providing a clear script. And it encourages independent thinking because um, you're not over reliant on your notes. Um, which allows you to really interact with your audience and directly communicate with them and adapt to their needs and be more flexible in a real time audience level situation. Um, so in the note cards, again, it's basically just you write down simple stuff to jog your memory, and it's more dynamic. It's natural, but it does so in a way where it's not like impromptu speech where you sound disorganized or unprepared. And you can have examples and statistics in your note cards to help you remember so you don't have to remember every little bit of detail. Um, Now, I personally, I think this would be the best one that I would prefer using, and I will be using this one in my speech because it will help uh, outline several key points so that I don't forget everything, but I also don't have to remember every little detail.